If you guys did enjoy the previous video featuring the Bugatti Super Sport 300 Plus, well, today it's time to play another track with the Chiron Pur Sport. Whereas that car is about pure speed, this car is about pure performance. In fact, Bugatti said that this is the most performing Bugatti ever made. It's not just about incredible top speed, but this is meant to be a car to be fast, agile, exciting around the corners and also around the track. Inside the Nardo there are several configurations of racetrack, and we're gonna take this car around the handling track. And just like the name says, I am quite curious to see how this car like to drive, because it's a 6.2 kilometer racetrack with lots of corners. 16. I think it's the right place to test the dynamic qualities of this car. Just 60 will be produced. Each Pur Sport will cost a staggering 3 million euros plus taxes. On the internet there is the cliche that Bugatti cars cannot corner, they're just made for the straight line for high speed. Well, I'm quite excited to take this car around the track. Even though this car is not meant for the top speed, here the top speed is limited to 350 kilometers per hour, so that's pretty fast, you can bet. Bugatti has done a lot of tweaks in order to maximize the acceleration, the lateral G-force. They wanted to make this car as fast as possible in the corners. In order to allow a mouth-watering acceleration, look at that. That's the W16 8-liter quad-turbo engine, which produces 1,500 horsepower and 1,600 Newton meters, already available at 2,000 RPMs. 2,000! Gear ratios have been shortened by 15% in order to allow an even quick acceleration, and 80% of the components have been changed. It takes just 2.3 seconds to hit 100 kilometers per hour. The acceleration has been improved in order to allow more performance around the corners and on the track. The suspensions have been changed. The springs are 66% stiffer in the front, 33% in the back. Look at the tires. Here we find the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R tires. These tires have a specific compound just for this model. So the standard Chiron still has Michelin tires, but they're different. This car is massive and so menacing, yet Bugatti has managed to reduce a little bit the weight, which is never a bad thing. In fact, they took 50 kilos down by putting these magnesium wheels. And then look at this exhaust in titanium made with the 3D print technology, and look at the wing. This is a fixed wing, so you don't have anymore the motor to move it up and down. And if you're wondering, this wing is wide 1.9 meters. Guys, enough with the talking, because it's time for the action. Andy Wallace is coming, and yeah, let's take this car on the track. This is not just about the straight line, it's about the corners, and why not enjoying around the track.
Absolutely. So we've got a lot more lateral acceleration. You'll feel the car. I presume you've driven a normal Chiron.
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Well, it's going to be quite a thrill then, I think.
But if you want to invite me another time, I will be happy.
Well, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
There are quite a number of differences. So one of the first things you probably notice already is you've got the extra camber.
There's a lot of camber compared to the standard Chiron.
There is, and it's quite an extreme amount. So this is why we've limited the top speed to 350.
I think it's enough.
I think it is too. I mean, it's fast and it gets there very, very quickly, obviously. And you have also the shorter gear ratios
for a better acceleration.
Exactly, and you know, it makes, with an engine with 1600 Newton meters, you would imagine, well, what difference really does it make because you have so much torque?
Yeah.
Actually, you really feel the difference, the acceleration.
I cannot wait to experience it.
It's quite an interesting subject, because you take the Chiron and you have a very complete car. It's good at everything. It's fast, it's easy to drive, etc, etc. So on the one side you've got the Super Sport 300 Plus. So as we know, a car that can go more than 490 kilometers per hour. So this is an extreme in the top speed. So now with the Pur Sport we've gone the other way. So this is what I want you to experience today. And we've got this Nardo handling track. It's actually, today is my first time I've seen the track.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I've been out this morning and it's really impressive. So I did a few laps in the car, and the corners are quite punishing for a car. They're very, very long corners, and you can imagine it's really putting the car to the test.
You feel the lateral G-force.
You do, yeah, it's fantastic. And there's a lot of places where you arrive and it's actually blind. So, and the car changes direction so well. The feeling of the brake pedal is really nice too. So for me, that's an important thing when you're trying to drive a car fast. The other thing too is the steering feel, and it always surprises me each time just how good the communication is from the steering. And actually, because that's the bit that's in your hand, if that's giving you the correct messages, you feel confident to drive the car. So, and here we have that. So let's go, and we'll see. We'll do a couple of fast laps.
Oh,
and see
yeah.
what you think.
Absolutely. Which setting we're using for the track?
We're going to go to the Sport Plus. Of course, all the safety systems are there underneath, but it just allows you to play a little bit more. And when you're on a racetrack, it's the best setting. So this is the main straight. So let's see where we are. Have you been around this track before?
No, it's my first time.
Oh, okay. It's got some very interesting corners. This one, for example, it's reducing radius. So you go in and in and in, and it gets tighter and tighter.
Wow.
So it's asking a lot from the car, and then in the end, it's very tight. Really good acceleration, yeah. Again, very, very long corner. But you notice not much body roll.
Yeah.
Goes on forever and ever and ever.
Oh, that's a long corner.
And now the car will get a little bit light.
Whoa! The sea, wow.
Another blind corner. And it grips so well on the traction, doesn't it?
I can start to feel my lunch.
The acceleration is unbelievable, isn't it?
it's the right place to test this kind of car.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm impressed. I would have never expected to hit the track around a Bugatti. Because I'm used to see them around Monaco's Casino Square, driving gently, and I hope to see some owners drive this car, because this is impressive. What I like about Bugatti with the Veyron, with the Chiron, is that they make extremely fast and performing car, but these are kind of cars you can daily, they're reliable. There's no other manufacturers that can take this whole package in a car, I think.
I think you're right, absolutely right.
And it's great to see that Bugatti made an even more corner track focused vehicle. Because a lot of people think that Bugattis are just for the straight line, for the top speed, but it's not true.
It's great that we have such a range of cars.
Yeah.
Pick what you really think is the most important features of the car.
Exactly.
But each time you find a straight bit and you open the throttle, you've still got this fantastic acceleration. With the shorter gears, you really feel it punching you forward.
That was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did. Thank you, Andy.
It's just that with Bugatti, everything about the numbers are incredible. You know, you're talking about the horsepower and the torque, and the fact that the torque is achieved from 2,000 RPM.
The acceleration is mind-blowing.
It's a pleasure every time when you just see it, just a short straight, and you push. Fantastic feeling.
It's a good thing you were looking at the road and not my face.
Yeah, well, I was going to show you just from the outside. I mean, you see. Let's have a look at the front wheels, for example. You see this enormous 420mm, and these calipers have got 4 pads in each caliper and 8 pistons. But the pedal feel, it's so consistent. You can do lap after lap on the track, and the pedal is.
Did you see the actual speed we hit in the main street?
It's just around 300. We come up on the dash, yeah. So, 299, 1504 PS.
Wow.
In just a few seconds, isn't it?
Yes. The straight line felt so short on board this car.
So also on top of that, the rotational forces on the wheels, and by the time you get from the centre line, it gets more, of course, as further away you go. When you get to the valve cap, you're talking about something like 3,000 G. The valve cap itself weighs 2.5 grams, and this translates to 7.5 kilos at full speed, and then the pressure and temperature sensor just behind you.
It's insane to see how many things you have to modify in order to allow such kind of performance. It's not just add more power, put a big wing, and that's all.
No, that's right. You're absolutely right. It's all about engineering.
Yeah.
It's a very, very clever, good, solid engineering. Originally, even on the valve inside where you can let the air out or put the air in, at full speed on the original Chiron, this stem in the valve was actually bending and letting air out. So even that has to be redesigned so that it doesn't happen.
This is impressive.
Every single part of the car is...
It's fascinating to see how much work, how much technology has been put in the making of this car. This is what I love about Bugatti, as I told you. The whole package in Bugatti cars, this is not something we can find on any other kind of hypercar, I think.
No, and I think as a driver, I find it's fantastic that there's no corners cut. Whatever it takes is what it gets. And for me, that's what makes a wonderful car.
On track with Bugatti? Guys, what an experience it was. Andy Wallace is such a legend, and I love the passion as well as the energy he had while teaching and showing me the performance of the Pur Sport. This is simply priceless. I would have never expected to say it, but compared to the Super Sport 300 Plus, here the acceleration is even more brutal. It's crazy to see what Bugatti has achieved with the Pur Sport. Starting from the Chiron project, they've developed an even more performing and, dynamically speaking, engaging hypercar, and the result is simply breathtaking. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more. And as always, thanks for watching. Ciao!